All right, as preparations intensify for the G20 Leaders Summit in Nasrec, we're already seeing a number of international arrivals at different parts of the country. OR Tambo International Airport is certainly one of those terminals. This is our live shot for you once again. Relatively busy. You can see a number of domestic airlines continuing, I suppose, with what they need to do. Security measures and logistical operations are being finalised as South Africa, of course, gears to welcome more world leaders in the lead up to the main summit expected in just under 24 hours' time. Watching developments for us at our Nerve Centre is in Nasrec is SABC News correspondent Sherwin Bryce-Pease, who joins us now once again. And Sherwin, there are hours where it feels like everything is happening, and moments like this where we get an opportunity, I suppose, to ventilate some of the issues surrounding the summit because there isn't much movement. We are anticipating, though, the arrival of the Brazilian delegation, and we'll certainly take that live as soon as it happens. But take us through, I suppose, the energy around the Nasrec Expo Center at the moment in a context where we know momentum is likely to continue building throughout the next couple of hours.
You took the words out of my mouth, Yanda. The momentum is building, but we haven't crested yet, if you will. We haven't reached the apex, and that will happen when all those leaders are gathered around that round table in the plenary session alongside where we are here at the Johannesburg Expo Center at Nasrec, the media center that is slowly becoming more populated, certainly dominated by SABC crews today, but there is certainly, as leaders arrive, an influx of the media that accompanies them, official media, broadcast media, print media, radio, social media. I mean, the list goes on. And so over the next 2 days, this set behind me should be a hive of activity. And to the point, right, those live shots of the arrivals, the airport, the planes on the runway, do not underestimate the logistical exercise that is at play here. To coordinate the arrival of all these leaders in South Africa is no small undertaking. The security that needs to accompany these leaders, the diplomatic support that must accompany them, the negotiations that are ongoing at the Sherpa level that will be transferred to the leaders if they are unable to find consensus, the media that has to navigate the security, diplomatic protocols. And then, of course, the substance, right? What are we here to do? We're here to improve humanity. We're here to talk about development. We're here to talk about an economy that can create dividends for people on the ground. And so this is a full circle operation, right? It's not just about the dignitaries. It's all the facets. Do the microphones work? Is the food heated to the right temperature? Are people happy with their surrounds? Are the hotels functioning at full throttle? Are the lights being kept on, right? I mean, these are all concerns that might have infused deliberations ahead of this, but certainly a lot of activity here. And to speak more to that activity, let's take you to our reporter that is navigating the area outside Nasrec. Calvin Gludler has been standing by for a while. He's observing things that are happening outside of the precinct here where we are. Let's go to him and find out what the latest is.
Good morning to you again, Sherwin, and to our SABC viewers at home. Yes, you are spot on. I've been standing here for a while, but I'm monitoring the situation outside Nasrec. And you know that this was a Johannesburg Expo Center, now known as Nasrec. It's the famous word even overseas. They are talking about it because global leaders will come here to attend the historic global showpiece, the historic global affair, the G20 Leaders Summit. You know that it will be taking place over the weekend. That would be your Saturday and Sunday. But as from today, we are expecting delegates to come here, and we are expecting traffic here. But let me step out of shot so that our video journalist Stelo Hlanula can be able to show you a sense of what I'm really talking about. You see those cars that are parking there. People will come with those cars and park there, and then they will be taken by a shuttle to the venue. From where they are, it's not even 5 minutes long. I think it's less than 5 minutes to where Sherwin Bryce-Pease, my colleague, is. And then it's a swift operation. You don't have to drive yourself there. and there's no traffic congestion. I don't know if Stelo can be able to zoom in on those traffic lights there. That is your Soweto highway. Those cars that are going down the road are going to Soweto. I'm explaining to those who might not be familiar with this location where we are, and those who are coming the opposite direction are going to town, and they will be diverted because of this particular event. You would understand that JMPD spokesperson Superintendent Xolani Fihla did mention that as the host city, Johannesburg will see the largest concentration of traffic control, convoy, escorting and route protection operations, and the JMPD, according to him, will play an important role in ensuring public safety and securing movement across all key corridors. And you would understand that Road Traffic Management Corporation, known as the RTMC, want motorists to expect significant traffic disruptions and road closures. The organization published an updated list of the routes that will be affected. Also, Sherwin, motorists are also advised that when convoys carrying delegates are moving, roads will be completely closed off, and access to other motorists and pedestrians will be limited. Motorists are therefore advised to plan ahead and use alternative routes, particularly near Nasrec, where we are, OR Tambo International Airport, and Sandton. So, Sherwin, as I am talking to you people, it's Friday today. You would understand that most people will be going up and down. It would be a busy weekend for them. That is why RTMC is urging them to plan ahead. We are camping in outside here, Nasrec, next to Soccer City. The reason why, Sherwin, and if you're at home, I'm bringing in Soccer City, it's because this is not the first time South Africa is hosting such a global event. We hosted in 2010, we hosted the biggest sporting tournament, FIFA World Cup. It was hosted here, and the first game that it was played here at the Soccer City, and it was successful. You remember that there were those who were even doubting that South Africa can host such a global sporting event. It's a stone away from where you are, showing just a few kilometers, if not a kilometer. That is where the World Global Summit will be hosted. So the traffic is flowing for now, but I can tell you that there are lots of law enforcers here. I'm talking about police officers, the members of the South African Police Service, and traffic controllers. When you arrive here, you have to introduce your accreditation and explain yourself where you are, and then they can be able to let you in. You have to park in the designated area as Hlanula showed you, then you will have to move. We'll monitor traffic. We will be engaging with some of those who are coming here. What made me happy, Sherwin, is that there was a journalist from ZBC. ZBC is a Zimbabwean cooperation, a Zimbabwean public broadcaster like the SABC. They are here to also cover this event. We had an engagement offer with them. They are telling us that they are happy to arrive in South Africa to cover such a magnificent event. Because of time, Sherwin, back to you in studio.
Yeah, no, I'm sure, Calvin, that ZBC is here because we do expect among the invited guests accompanying the G20 leaders will be the president of Zimbabwe, Emmerson Mnangagwa. So you've really wrapped up the logistical exercise. One thing I will add to that, or two things. The police that have been very diligent in checking our accreditation and making sure that we're not slipping through the cracks, have been very friendly, very welcoming, very nice. And so kudos to the SAPS for the dignity in which they are engaging with the media and certainly the people that will populate the Nasrec precinct, which is, I must tell you, a very highly secured event. Every so often as we sit here, we hear the zooming of what sounds like fighter jets zooming above us, shaking the building a little bit. So all hands on deck approach. And Calvin also there spoke about, don't try to leave your house when the convoys, the official convoys are moving. I spend a lot of my time in the United States, and trust me, I've got a story for you. When Donald Trump, the president of the United States, moves, for example, around the United Nations during the September high-level UN General Assembly, there was a story just this past September when the president of France, Emmanuel Macron, was seeking to leave the United Nations building, but unfortunately his departure coincided with the movement of Donald Trump's convoy, and so everything stops. Everything stops until that convoy moves out, even Ayanda for the president of France.
Imagine. Speaking about things in motion and things stopping, and speaking of Donald Trump, of course, there'd been all manner of commentary about whether or not his absence from this G20 would stop this important gathering from going ahead. I don't need to remind you of the back and forth of the past couple of hours insofar as the US's involvement is concerned. But what I think sometimes what that does is take us away from speaking about the many other people who are likely to be present, Sherwin, including representatives of these multilateral institutions. The World Bank is likely to be represented, the IMF, the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, and we're anticipating, of course, the Secretary General of the United Nations.
Don't forget that when you talk about the Sustainable Development Goals, or you talk about development, or you talk about climate justice, or you talk about innovation, or you talk about disaster resilience, or you talk about whatever is on that list, it also is a conversation very much about money. And so we talk about this $4.3 trillion SDG implementation gap that is seeing the Sustainable Development Goals, the targets that inform the SDGs, lagging at a rate of 35%. Only 35% are being implemented. And so this is why you are seeing this essentially economic bloc called the G20 seek to expand its mandate to deal with these pressing economic issues where you need the development banks, when you need the International Monetary Fund and the BRICS Bank and the like, to really understand what is required in terms of their extension of credit, if you will, to countries, particularly small developing countries that are going to be very harshly impacted by the consequences of climate change, the consequences of food insecurity. There's often a statistic used at the United Nations that a lot of countries pay more on their debt servicing than they do on investing in healthcare and in education. And so it is important that those institutions, the managing director of the IMF, the president of the World Bank and the like, and the Secretary General come around the table to understand what their responsibilities are. Yes, the policies are there, the ideas are there, but it always lags on the implementation front. And often the consequence of a lack of funding is what leads to a lack of implementation. And so where those two energies meet in the middle is where this G20 can really offer us a pathway forward.
We certainly hope that is the case. Sherwin Bryce-Pease, live to us there from the nerve center, if you like, of the G20 Leaders Summit. That's in Nasrec at our satellite studios in the south of Johannesburg. It's a long day, Sherwin. We'll certainly be touching base with you throughout the course of the next couple of hours.